Hi, Gab, Salt. I'm reviewing Salt, the latest on the run, mistaken identity, or is it action, suspense, thriller thing. Typical, atypical in that it's starring with female, centers around the female action hero, Angelina Jolie, obviously. Who else, you might say? But interestingly, Salt was first developed with Tom Cruise attached to the central role. Obviously, well, pretty obviously the opposite sex as Angelina Jolie, and obviously they changed it around. So, typical kind of story, but with the female as the central character. I have to say I think it made it more interesting having the female central role. For some reason I feel like that's a sexist comment to say that, but it is what it is. There's something a bit more intriguing and visceral about seeing a woman kick butt. And it really is hard to imagine anyone other than Angelina Jolie really pulling it off. I mean, even in her spare time, she does this kind of thing, let alone in movies. So she's very believable. She's really good at the action stuff. Again, it seems like every actor these days says that they did their own stunts, but you really do feel like she did a lot of her own stunts. There's some really good action scenes I was quite impressed with, and you really feel it's very believable that she's the one doing them. She's worked with this director before, Philip Noyce, about 10 years ago in The Bone Collector, and he's also the director of the sort of the Clear and Present Danger, Patriot Games movies. And he has a very fine command. It's well directed. I think in lesser hands it would have been a lot more schlocky. It still is kind of schlocky. Like I said, it's a typical, quite cliched, you know, on the run, trying to clear your name kind of thing. But very strongly directed with good action pieces. Some of the schlock comes in with the score. I found it really overbearing and almost ridiculous in some instances. Really noticed it. It was really pumped up and almost to a cheesy, you know, Resident Evil, you know, music video extent. And I think it was trying to pull that off a little bit too hard. But the performances were decent. I mean, as I said, Angelina Jolie, you can't do better than her for this kind of role. She has the gravitas and the physicality. The other main roles are Liev Schreiber. I know I'm butchering that name, and I'm not even going to try the other name. Well, I should. Chiwetel Ejiofor. I apologize, but it's a hard name to say. And they were fine as the suits were chasing her. Again, pretty typical. I don't want to spoil anything, but I have to say that one of the casting elements really made it quite obvious from the get-go, the supposed twist that was going to happen with this character. If that's a spoiler, you really can't spoil something that's that obvious. I just won't say the name. But so one of the identity twists to me was coming a mile away, more than a mile. But with the Salt character, the main plot line being, who is Salt? That's actually the tagline. Is she a Russian spy, or is she innocent of this accusation? And I actually was pretty impressed with how the script carried off this this mysterious element. It sort of tiptoed around it. There were different elements of the story and of Angelina Jolie's performance that really did sort of keep you a little bit wondering what was up, so to speak, with the background of this character and her motives. So I thought that was carried off pretty well. Not well enough to be anything mind-blowing, but some good slick action, fun for this kind of genre. It probably won't let you down if you like this sort of thing, but nothing special. I'd give it maybe a B or a rental. Salt. Maybe try a little tonight. I don't want to make a Salt joke, but the end was definitely set up for a sequel, so that writes its own joke what the sequel would be called. Anyway, Salt.